City won the treble. A lot of it down to Bernardo Silva. Will he stay at Manchester City Football Club? And it looks like he could do. I thought I'd jump on and do a very quick video after City's Bayern victory 2-1 in the friendly, because I saw a bit of breaking news and I thought it was worthy of discussing personally. Oh, come on, man. Imagine Bernardo Silva staying. Imagine how big that would be of a win for Manchester City Football Club to keep him at the club. Now, the reports suggest that he's been told that he is untransferable. There we go. The reports say Man City have told Bernardo Silva that he'll have to continue to fill his contract at the club and that they consider the midfielder as non-transferable. City have also informed the players representing Jorge Mendes that any proposal will be refused. This comes from I don't know. They are. Someone tell me who they are. They're Ebola over in Lisbon. So basically a Portuguese. I think they're pretty big actually. Yeah, pretty big Portuguese news site, and that is where the news has come from for this one. I mean, Bernardo Silva is quite simply a world-class footballer, one of the very best. And if we can somehow manage to keep him at Manchester City, like, you can't underestimate just how big that would be as a boost. Like, he is up there. He is top-tier level footballer, and the thing about Bernardo Silva is that it's been very publicly admitted that he does want to move on and that he does want to go somewhere. It's not because he dislikes Man City. It's not just because he dislikes Pep or the players or the people of Manchester. I think it's because he just wants something a bit more glamorous as a lifestyle. And you sort of get that. You know, I love Manchester. I'm from there, for crying out loud. Manchester born and bred. But I understand it hasn't got a beach and a bit of sunshine and it rains an awful lot. And I think he fancies something a little bit nicer. I think he's a guy who just likes to travel, likes to get around and do different things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, he's got 2 years left on his contract. And I think City have said, if you're not going to bring in the big money, you're not going to. And we're bored of this rigmarole, this circus around Bernardo Silva. It's absolute nonsense. Every single time, innit? Like, you always see this stupid, like, circus of, will he go, will he stay, will he go, will he stay? And if this is true, and I hope this is true, the fact that City might have just put their foot down and told him to stay could be the best bit of transfer news all summer. You watch him in those friendlies with his shaven head, and he looks like a man reborn, free of the shackles, you know. And, like, to me, I got no doubts whatsoever. And it's like I'm saying, I hope this doesn't dampen his motivation. Like, Bernardo Silva, I think it's inherently who he is. I mean, he's absolutely a massive part. A massive part of him is just like he's got that inherent will to win. Like, you can't be on the pitch and not give 100%. It's just who he is as a person. So I don't think he's going to be sulking or giving anything less than 100%. And I don't think he's intrinsically unhappy, you know. Like, he plays for the treble winners, and I think he understands. He's smart enough to understand his situation. And I think he knows that he's so good that unless someone comes in and pays a fair value for him, it was never going to happen. And right now, it's not going to get right now, it's too close to the start of the season. And if City have said you have to stay, I think he'll respect it. I think a small part of him is probably not that bothered anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a family-led thing where he's probably like, okay, I could do another year, you know, and his wife's pregnant, and he might think, do you know what, we'll just stay here for another year and settle down a little bit and then move on a little bit longer. It's not the worst thing in the world, just another 7-8 months in Manchester, you know, Ronaldo. Like, just do it, mate. Just do it, and, like, do it and have the best time of your life at Manchester City in terms of your career. And then when you're 30 years old, your contract's run out, go to wherever you want after that. That, to me, would be my advice to Bernardo Silva. Look, we can lose Gundogan, but we can't lose Bernardo Silva as well at the same time. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. He's absolutely world-class. He's quite literally in the team of the year and, like, for the Champions League. And I think City have earmarked him down as a key player in particular this season. He always is, but I think Guardiola's gone and said, like, you can't lose Bernardo. I reckon he might have been a bit more relaxed if we'd signed Declan Rice, but the fact that we haven't got him and Gundogan's gone, I think Guardiola said, no, you cannot lose Bernardo Silva. You can't do it. Unless it was something silly money-wise, 90 million or whatever. And I think Declan Rice existing is also a good barometer, you know, like, and I think what City will have to pay for Guardiola is a good barometer. Like, Bernardo Silva is quite literally one of the best midfielders in world football. So it has to be 90 million. It has to be around that. Yeah, like, his own quality sort of takes himself off the market, in my opinion. It could be, as people have said in the chat, like Andrew said, if PSG sell Mbappe or PayPal, as everyone calls him, if they sell him, they might come in with a massive bid because, you know, at the same time, they will want a superstar signing. And Mbappe and Bernardo are totally different players, but Bernardo Silva does carry that massive pedigree. And I do think Bernardo would go to PSG. I think he'd go to Paris. But yeah, as Moniefio said in the chat, this would be massive. It would be absolutely huge. It'd be the best bit of news all summer. Like, because I think City, I understand the soft touch, the nicey thing. I do. I understand it, you know. Like, if you want to go, you can go. Just bring us the right bid. But there has to be a cut-off point. There has to be beyond. There has to be a bit where good faith sort of disappears. And like with Bernardo now, it's been 2 years and it's another summer, and he's had plenty of times to fish out a bid which is suited to Manchester City. But the fact of the matter is, his agent hasn't bought a transfer bid that's acceptable for City, and City have got a right to go, this is taking the piss now, you know. It's going on for too long, and we can't wait around for you constantly. At some point, we have to respect our own interests, and I think there always has to be a line that eventually City go, right, you crossed it now. And I am absolutely for the approach of players can go if they want to. I think it's sensible. I think it's smart. But at the same time, City aren't a charity. And we can't have our plans constantly derailed or put on hold because we don't understand. Like, at some point, we have to plan our own season. And now, it's the 26th of July. The season starts in a week or so. And like at some point, we have to go, no. Just no. We have to be able to buy a replacement. Look, I reckon if PSG had come in for £80 million at the end of the season, City would have accepted it and they would have gone for Barella or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, it's nearly August. No. And it is what it is. There was another bit of news, by the way, as you saw there. Look at this here. Rico Lewis will sign a new 5-year contract with Man City plus an option for a further season in the coming weeks. Apparently, his salary will be increased by around 5 times. Loads of European clubs have been paying attention to him. That is wonderful news because I actually saw Bernardo Silva replacement today and Rico Lewis in midfield. Did anyone else feel the same? Like the energy and the relentlessness. There was a bit. Obviously, he's not as silky smooth a dribbler as Bernardo Silva, but that industry, that relentless shuttling brilliance. There was a bit of that to Rico Lewis today, and he's such a smart technical footballer who does not lose the ball, and he's only 18 years old. I mean, Rico Lewis is a superstar in the making, and for me, tying him down, keeping Bernardo around. I saw Rico Lewis today and I saw his future. He's a midfielder. Like, I just don't see Rico Lewis as a right back. Based off that today, you can totally see that Rico is an 8. He's an 8. And I think Guardiola actually knows that. Like, he was absolutely immense there today. And that's exactly where he should be. So much news going around, I really like this news. What's going on here? Thomas Tuchel and Bernardo Silva. Get off him, Thomas. James McAtee was talking as well after the game, by the way. He said it was good to get my first senior goal. I didn't affect the game as much as I wanted, but happy days. I was struggling with the humidity. It was good to get a water break for 20 minutes, though. I thought I played 40. It was a tough game. It's about trying to get fitter, and playing in the heat is only going to help. Don't worry, man. It'll happen. It'll come with time. He said it's good to be back with Man City lads. I was away last year. It's great to be back. I said to Rico before the game, you were playing higher up, and he wasn't too fussed. When he was younger, he played in those positions. Yeah, he did. Look, the thing is, James said the same last year as well. He said the same, didn't he? Sheffield United. And then he worked so hard, and he found his way to affect the game. And he's smart enough, James, to do the same again, James McAtee. And I know he will. Tuchel is massive, by the way, Minty. He's really tall. He's like 6'4", and also Bernardo is tiny. So he's like Klopp tall, Tuchel, I think. But yeah, I think this is wonderful news. If this is true. If we can convince him to stay, I cannot underestimate just how big this would be as a boost, because he's world class. Apparently, he has been offered a new contract, according to some in the nose as well. So fingers crossed, he's actually going to take the contract. Imagine if he did. And there's also news as well, wasn't it today? There's also news today about a new Vardiol bid potentially. I mean, if that came through as well. If that came through, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Like, a Vardiol bid broke through. Oh, what did he say? Fabrizio just spoke about him. Vardiol. Apparently made a new bid of like €90 million and 10 million add-ons. That's going to get done, by the way. And like the way I see, talking about the game a tiny bit, and this is only a short video, by the way, because I've got stuff to do, but back to the game, a lot of the panicking, I think we should just a bit of a reminder that it's been a bit over the top, hasn't it? I've seen so many positives in this preseason, and I think we'll see more as well. We are absolute winners. So Bernardo Silva, anyway, to stay, allegedly, that we're going to say, no, it's gone too far. You stay in, you'll see out your contract. Rico Lewis to sign a new contract. After a great performance today, Ake apparently is getting a new contract. McAtee wants to impress further. Peroni was good today. Blues, let me know down in the comments what you make of this. Do hit the subscribe button on the channel. Just a quick video. How good could this be? Could be wonderful news. City won the treble in a bit.